Oh yeah. Monday. October. Oh yeah. I don't care if there's some red candles lit. Let me tell you something. It is October 21st, 2024. Look at that. Another beautiful day to have a beautiful day. I got my co-host in the house, Tyler. Tyler, missed you last week. How you doing today? Good morning.
I'm doing fantastic. It was quite the weekend. Tons of action in the market. And I mean, last night it looked like we were just so back. Maybe a little bit of retrace, but October is here. And the Bulls are ready for it.
Oh yeah, definitely. The Bulls are definitely in town. Listen, you got to give the Bears a little snack. You know what I mean? Like, I look at the price. I know we'll talk about it. Mando's a little late, but he's coming. 67.4K to start my day. I mean, what do we start the month at? 58? Was that 58.9K dip? That was that dippity dip when everybody called it quits on day one, remember? So, yeah, it's that. Yeah, we hit 58.4.8K on October 10th. So, you tell me that we're definitely there. Tyler, I think it's your end today. It was my end. I think my Wi-Fi may be fixed.
It's no Wi-Fi problems. I don't know what's going on, but yeah,
it's one of us. There can only be one of us. It could be you. Okay, well this week is Tyler. Before a couple weeks ago it was me. My Wi-Fi kept breaking. I guess 1 week not using my internet here. Kind of fixed it. You can refresh if you want. I can talk to myself for a minute. Oh, I lost Tyler, and I don't have. Well, today on the show, today, market report as usual. Whenever Mando comes, we'll talk about the market. I know he's having a meeting with Ovi and Cali right now. Get his ass on here. Everybody, I want everybody at the bottom right to tag Mando. At Rec Mando. I want everybody to tag and ping Mando. Tell him to get his ass on the show right here, right now. Make sure you do that for me. Then after this, Tyler's top 1,000. Definitely a top 1,000 right now because, I mean, this weekend was heavy in the week. We got a lot of news all across the space. Yada. We had Ape Fest. I'm sure you're going to talk about it. Happy to dive deep into that, Tyler. Later as well when we get to it. Lots of news across the board. And then no roll bit today. That's for tomorrow. However, I did miss a big win. Oh my God. I definitely want to talk about that in a second. But we're back with the spins from tomorrow. Every day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We'll get into that. And then last but not least, this show is still, shout out to them, powered by Galaxis with seamless built-in monetization tools. Galaxis enables development of sustainable long-term communities, fulfilling Bitcoin's vision of decentralized freedom and independence from centralized control. You absolutely love to see, to hear, to feel that. Without further ado, well, Tyler, I guess we'll go to top 1,000 first. And we'll talk markets when Mando hits us up.
For daily NFT and crypto analysis. Tyler D on FOMO hour calls the kid can't miss.
Ready to bash some bears. Well, I think our top story was ApeCoin. So ApeCoin had a successful launch weekend, several apps, a new staking mechanism, and a growing meme ecosystem. It all led to ApeCoin pumping over 100%. So shout out to the Apes. Stripe made huge headlines here. $1.1 billion acquisition of Bridge, a platform specializing in stablecoin transactions. Get this, folks. This is the largest acquisition in crypto industry all time to date. So huge news there. Vitalik, he's back. He published part 3 of his Future of Ethereum blog titled The Scourge. It addresses some centralization risk in proof-of-stake systems and lays out some solution areas. The SEC and the Fed have been somewhat busy here, perhaps on the negative side. So the SEC is alleging that Solana is a security in an amended complaint in its lawsuit against Binance. So that is going to be one to watch. That actually comes after they did approve the spot Bitcoin ETF options trading for the CBOE. And then breaking, I think Matthew Seigel shared this morning, the Minnesota Federal Reserve is apparently following the ECB's, the European Central Bank's lead on playing restrictions and taxes against Bitcoin. As they laid out this very strange permanent deficit abstract paper. So perhaps we'll chat about that in a bit. In token airdrop and protocol news, PumpFun introduced Pump Advanced, offering a faster, cheaper, more secure trading experience. Abstract introduced Panoramic Governance, a new mechanism aiming to reward both users and builders in different ways within their ecosystem. And then folks in memes and NFTs, meme coin majors, well, they were green this morning. They're flipping red here a little bit. Giga outperformed it, hit 600 million. Flog was up over 200 million at one point. AI coins dominated the weekend, though. GOAT hit an all-time high at 520 million. That number was exactly what was needed to give Truth Terminals Holdings that $1 million mark, and then dipped all the way to 160 million after some FUD over the weekend. It was back to 400. I think it's around 350 this morning. We saw Gnon, Soar, Act, Slop, and others. Solana ended up doing more trading volume than the entire ETH plus ETH L2 ecosystem over the weekend on the back of that. So that was quite notable. And other quick NFT headlines, ACK, Alpha Story Kid, sold his 5 one-on-ones in the Piano Blossoms auction for combined 107 ETH. That's $290,000. Rip Cash sold his edition, 64 editions in the Birds collection for 30 ETH, now holding a 0.55 ETH floor. And then Doodles announced their Hall of Horse. They're giving away a gold-boned skeleton via some pack drops. So it was a pretty busy weekend.
Well, busy indeed. I mean, wow, where do we even start here? I mean, I guess because of a little bit of market update on this front. I mean, Bitcoin's looking strong. Look, what did we hit yesterday? Let's get our charts out.
69,420.
69 classic. 69,420. Is that right? Oh my god, that's hilarious. Yeah.
It bounced right off 69,420.
We definitely love our memes. I mean, what do you think? I know you sent us Kalio's tweet. Kalio saying that he thinks we're hitting what, little 61K. Is that what he's talking about?
Yeah, so I'm always the one who gets bullish at like the top of range.
I mean, I was bullish as fuck last night. So I'm with you. It's not just you, brother. It's not
straight line bias, but I think people smarter than me who have been tracking this for longer, basically saying like this was the pump. We're gonna have the shakeout move down, and then we're going to rip. I think Bob Lucas said similar. Kaleo is charting it. So folks are basically expecting us to print a new higher low, but before things rip. I think the question is on the timeline. Does it happen ahead of the election? I don't know. I mean, definitely. So, I mean, Trump's odds on sports books, like they're giving him at minus 160 right now. So that's a pretty big favorite. I think that's arguably the biggest favorite I think we've seen him at. Outside of prediction markets. So the Trump pump is real.
Trump pump. That's what this is that what they call it now? The Trump pump? Is that what I missed last week?
I think so. Yeah. I think we're calling it the Trump pump. Good branding. You have to give it that.
That's Trump pump. I mean, you can't spell pump without Trump. I don't know. Anyways, that doesn't really work out for you.
I think the more interesting, go take a look at Eric Balkunis's tweet. I retweeted this.
Who?
Balkunis.
Oh, I saw you share something. Oh my god, that's so funny as you talk about this. This is the first thing I see on my timeline. On Twitter.
Oh god. That's the Trump pump right there for those in the stream.
I literally just opened Twitter. Right now to share my screen. This is the first thing I see. That is hilarious. You said Balkunis, right? All right, let me go to Balkunis here. One of our favorite ETF bros, one of the two. It was this tweet I think that you shared, right?
Yeah. So we talk about like global liquidity, and it seems like global liquidity is on an uptrend here. But what he's pointing out is that even stocks ripping to all-time high, that the first 50 bips rate cut, it's not getting folks out of cash. So money market funds have held steady basically at their peak level of 6.4 trillion. And then he's alluding to, okay, well, what's going to happen when this cash does finally move? And he's saying perhaps it doesn't happen until rates get below 3%. I don't know when it's going to move off the sidelines. You have to assume it is going to move off the sidelines here at some point. And then, we've seen the global liquidity curves. It does feel like to me that we are still at the bottom. And man, things start to get really get really nutty when the money starts moving out of these money market funds. But I mean, if you're keeping cash in these funds, it's just getting inflated away. Maybe folks just aren't realizing it yet, but I think they will start to realize it if they haven't. So I think that's a huge metric to track.
Do you remember that
yeah, the global liquidity chart.
Global liquidity chart. Where are we at on that? Is there an update? Because it's been a couple months since we talked about it. Global liquidity chart.
I haven't seen an updated one. It's a hard chart to find.
I think I found it. Hold on, let's see. There you go. Is this it? Well, it's not the one I'm talking about. This is a good one. Bitcoin global liquidity M2 versus Bitcoin price. It's not a bad one. But there was a chart that, it's like a band, right?
It makes it look like we're in like the first or second inning of a liquidity run.
I keep getting this like stupid thing from TradingView because I guess I'm not paying for the thing. Or what? Can you pay even for the? Anyways, so it's like this is a good chart actually. Here, I want to show you this one. So this is the one. Well, this is it, I guess. The global liquidity index versus Bitcoin price. I think that's what it is. Yeah, global liquidity index. That's it. Versus Bitcoin. I think that's what it is. So, anyways, so that's a good one. What else do we got? I mean, in terms of macros and everything, is there any numbers or anything coming out? Do we have when's next FOMC?
I don't have what's on the list for this week.
Let me see.
FOMC is in November.
Yeah, we got time.
I think they're pricing in a quarter bips. I want to say.
So what, you think there'll be quarter bips? So it's like November 6 and 7, then it's December 17, 18. Is that what we're expecting? Quarter?
I believe so. I'm going to try to pull it up here while we're chatting about this.
I think that's what we're talking about. Last I checked.
Rate cuts. Yeah, so four rate cuts, 100 bips. So that would be effectively 25 is the heavy favorite at 64% right now for the rest of the year.
All right.
It makes it so we're going to see more of a gradual liquidity run into the markets. But I mean, so we were talking before the show, NVIDIA hit a new all-time high, leading stocks. So it's probably going to be another green week for stocks. Or at least it's looking to start that way.
It's definitely looking good.
Markets feel strong all around.
It definitely looks really good. Anyways, top gainers, top losers. Let's see what we're talking about here. I mean, Bitcoin's at 67.4. ETH is 2680, hit like 27 plus yesterday. Solana, talk about a pump yesterday, went all the way to $172.
Wow.
That was quite a pump. And it closed above like a very important line, which is about 163, which looked really good. I wouldn't be surprised if that one heads towards new highs. What do you think here? I mean, it looks like it wants it.
I think it's going to all-time high for sure. And like we talked about, from a market cap perspective, it's even closer. So Sol's strong. Like everyone, I think there's more and more attention on the meme cycle, and then folks immediately want to look at the picks and shovels play, and that's Solana.
Yeah,
and it's breaking out. It's strong. I don't know if I have like a real price target. Probably somewhere like 350 to 500 in the end of a good long bull cycle. Mm-hmm. Probably somewhere in there.
All right. Well, look, we'll see where the markets take us. But it's definitely looking good for this last week of October. Oh my God, it passed so quick.
Yeah, we got a little bit of time. We got 10 days.
God, oh, yeah, it's true. It's true.
Let's not wish away October.
I mean, you know what comes after October?
Upvember.
And you know what comes after Upvember?
Upsember.
I mean, man, these elections are coming quick. They're about to hit us.
2 weeks from tomorrow.
God damn, this is. Are you feeling it out there in Chicago? Are you starting to feel the elections coming?
We're out of it. So like Illinois is such a blue state that like they don't really even run that many political ads here for the most part. But from what I understand, folks who are in the swing states like Pennsylvania, it's all they get. Every commercial is just political ads. Yeah, and it's just going to heat up. I mean, I think Elon is sponsoring like these $1 million daily lotteries for people who register to vote.
That is insane.
Sign these petitions. So there's a lot of shenanigans playing right now.
I love playing the lottery. I mean, I wish I could play it over there. Yeah, Logan says can't confirm. Yeah, I guess Logan's in the swing state.
Hopefully he's entering.
Pardon?
So hopefully he's entering these lotteries.
Dude, Logan, you gotta enter the fucking lotteries, dude. Like $1 million a day. That's wild. Here, what we need you to do, Logan. We need you to enter those lotteries every single day, and then we need you to ape our meme coins. Maybe you ape like $1 million to lock in when you win. You know, just one clip. Just like, because we need someone to like wick it, right? Because we need to fill it wick. So we need that. Speaking of which, how are Murad memes doing right now? Tyler House, because obviously like we saw some retrace on the across the board, but yesterday, I mean, damn, everything was going. How are we doing on the meme coin side?
Yeah, and last night the Murad meme board looked great.
Crazy,
Like
bro.
they were ready to really make their move. It looks like some of the gains had been given back a little bit, still mostly green across the board. I think the big mover GIGA, so GIGA hit 600 million this morning, so it's basically at all-time high.
Wild.
It was the one who the hot Murad week when the index basically added 1.5 billion. GIGA didn't move at all. It was lagging everything.
Yeah.
And then this past week, it was the big mover. So I wonder if we're just going to see this kind of merry-go-round of you're just going to be able to pick. Like if one of the core memes is lagging one week, like that's the meme to play for the next week.
Honestly, it feels like this is what's happening. So we'll see. But it was a play, right? Like even like when SPX was like really firing off, and then like Mog was trailing behind, and you saw Mog like, completely go forward and like kind of beat it. And now you saw SPX kind of like come back last night. I mean, that was until this morning, and then now Giga's turn. So it's like they're taking turns, right? It's like they're taking turns, but I don't know. I like being across the board in a bunch. I've moved a few of my positions. I revisited a few things. So
yeah.
I've moved things around a little bit. I moved things. I was heavy soul, and I was like, maybe this is where you go more risk on.
I live far out on the risk curve, so
I'm like really, really risk on right now, bro. Like I'm kind of like make it or break it type situation here at the Farouk household.
I think we're gonna make it. So it seemed like the rhetoric was like, oh, the Murad, like AI and Goat killed the Murad meme meta after a week. I ran the numbers yesterday. The index only gave back like 5%. So it jumped from 3 billion to 4.5 billion across the 10 memes. It went back to like 4.2. I mean, my prediction, I think we're going to see a 20% move in the index this week. I bet we close at 5.
Dude, Solana at 163 looks so good. It closed above the point in 163, which is tapping again right now. I mean, the next big level for Sol is around 180. And then you're looking at highs, right? So it's looking so good. It's looking so good. So love to see that. Even ETH for a moment yesterday. Even ETH for a moment, dude. Even ETH for a moment yesterday looked like it wanted to crack it. Like that's an important level for it too, right?
Yeah, the ETH boys are trying to call out the ETH Bitcoin bottom for the 100th time this year.
Because I did send that in the chat, right? And you guys were like, don't talk about the ETH BTC ratio. I was like, fucking retrospect. Maybe I shouldn't have opened my mouth. But ETH BTC, hey, ETH BTC looked kind of bottom yesterday. If you think about it, it's been down only.
The number one indicator is whenever anyone starts bull posting ETH Bitcoin.
Yeah, I know.
We're gonna retrace.
I know. It just
what
happened, didn't it? I mean, look at this, right? Like this chart is so. Let me put on dark mode. This chart is so bad. I mean, surely it bottoms, no?
It's one of the ugliest charts in crypto. I mean, there has to be a bottom somewhere, I guess. But
put the weekly on. This is horrible. Oh my god. This is weeks of down. Weeks. How long? How many weeks? Many weeks. Huge weeks. A lot of weeks. Big weeks.
Well, we're talking about 2 years.
It's down only since here, which is fair to say. So we're talking 728 days, right? Since this point here. Holy, what's 728 days in weeks, in years?
Yeah, just about 2 years. Yeah. 2 years,
right?
30 days, yeah.
God damn.
Like I wouldn't bear to the bottom, but the narrative for Bitcoin feels much stronger than the narrative for Ethereum right now with all the other L1s.
Yeah, I'm not going to be the one calling HBTC bottom in the recorded Twitter Spaces and the YouTube podcast, but it sure as hell feels like it, or kind of like, yeah, I don't know. Oh my god. Anyways, I don't want to talk about that. The monthlies, though, you're right. On-chain metrics here in the chat saying BTC monthly chart looks so crazy. I mean, yeah, Bitcoin monthly, Solana monthly, even Ethereum, like every single monthly chart, like is enough to make you feel bullish. So if you're a little, feeling a little shaken out this morning because of what tiny dip, just so you guys know, we were meant to have a red September. This was your September, and this is your October so far. Even though your favorite influencers gave up 11 hours in on October 1st. So here we are, okay? And we're looking. This thing looks like it wants to go to 100K, Tyler.
Yeah, I think 100K is the next stop.
100K is FUD. Anyways,
where things get wild is at 100K. I think that's when everyone who's been hating on crypto and Bitcoin for the last 2 or 3 years, has the realization, like, okay, we have to capitulate into this now.
Yeah, 100%. Speaking of ETH, Speaking of ETH, speaking of L2s, speaking of Tyler's top 1000, ApeChain. ApeChain was big news coming out of the weekend. I mean, Tyler, I'll talk to you from the inside, but like, what did you make of the, how was it like from the other side? I guess it was kind of really late for you. Early. No, it was earlier Saturday for you guys. It was nighttime for us when the announcement dropped there. What do you make of all this? That was some big news on the Bored Ape side.
Yeah, it was a kind of a stealth launch, right? Like, I don't know that I think it was a surprise that ApeChain officially went live. So it was Saturday afternoon or early evening for those in CST. And then I had some friends start to bridge over. I wasn't going to do it. I was like, okay, I will do this. So I actually did bridge the first night, and perhaps we'll chat about some of the meme action. But it went live Saturday night. Ape started ripping. ApeCoin ended up going up about 125%. I think it hit to like $1.75 at peak. It's down a bit here this morning. So it hit $1.3 billion market cap. That came with their announcement came with new staking rewards for ApeCoin, I think natively, and without having to manage it. They have new interoperability features, a lot of new apps. So Top Trader launched its trading simulation game. Ape Express provided airdrop rewards for anyone holding the NFTs. And then that's the PumpFun app of the ApeChain. We saw Battle Plan go live, a Chimpers game went live. So a lot happened. It was a nice kind of start, like big bang event. And then Saturday night, I mean, the story was the meme coins, and they've since given back a lot of the gains. But
yes, it was everything, right?
Curtis ran to 28 million. Dookie ran to 4 million. I think Board ran up fairly high, and then this like Crypto is Fun one, CIF ran. So anyone, if you had quick exits on Sunday morning, there were easy 4 to 10 X's on the board.
Wow.
But if you held, then you gave back a lot of the gains.
That Curtis one, I mean, if I had to pick, I didn't bridge anything. I just got home. If I had to bridge anyone, the Curtis one makes most sense because Curtis is kind of like the symbol of the apes, right? It's kind of like the face. It's like the face of them all. It's not looking that bad. It's got man. It's impressive, man. $1 billion in market cap was added to ApeCoin overnight from the news. Not only that, I saw a tweet earlier from someone saying that it also got felt around NFTs. I mean, Azuki added 8%, Pudgy added 3.7%. Everything went higher across the board. So proof that like this is the kind of good news that is good news for the space in general. You were saying earlier in the chat when you and I were talking about it before the show that like this is good for other L2 ecosystems that may be coming out, that are out. Like, what are your general thoughts about it?
I think there was probably some trepidation just kind of after Blast. I feel like there's a hangover from Blast that it was just like pure farmers and no one really enjoyed it. And then when the rewards came out, everyone kind of left. I think ApeChain showed some signs of life. Like people were having fun. People who weren't in just the Bored Ape or Yuga ecosystem were bridging over and using the apps. So I think they showed that you can have a successful launch weekend. I think you have to have the pieces, right? You have to have a few of the apps, fun apps going live that people are excited about. You need to have the hardcore holder base behind you. I think like the loud apes on the timeline, like D-Farmer, like Zeneca, like Chris Jordan, those folks all backing. I think that is important as a part of the launch recipe, because I think people are going to look to them. And then, like, I mean, if this meme coin's super cycle in quotes, if it continues, I think that's a part of the recipe too. Like, you need to have a bit of a speculation ecosystem when you launch, because that's, that brings the headlines, that brings the capital over. So they nailed it on night one. It's early, to really be breaking out like all the party hats, but I think they have to be pleased with their opening weekend.
Yeah, they should be. I mean, look, boots on the ground here. It was a lot of fun. Had a blast. It was great.
Yeah, how was the party? I'm curious what it was like, boots on the ground.
Dude, the production was incredible. I was texting with, no, it's my Wi-Fi. I was texting with Gordon right after Ape Fest, was asking my thoughts, and I was like, dude, like his team. I mean, I can probably read what I said. I was something along the side of how impressed I was with his team and what they've done. It was really, really, really cool. First of all, getting Anderson Paak was pretty fire to perform. Loxy and I were losing our shit. We're like, let's go, because we really like him. But in general, like the production was great. The Convento event, which was like 9 to 5 every day, plus the first like party opening night, was great. The merch and the apparel and everything they made, by the way, the branding is impeccable. I love the ApeChain branding. I like the way they're going about it. I love the graphics, the visuals. I ran into Vils over there. he told me he worked with them on a few things also for visuals that were set up in Portugal. The main event was sick. I mean, Tyler, like this goes to show you like why they're kind of different from the rest. Like they really put on their own festival, right? Like I think they're the only kind of PFP project that puts on their own standalone festival, right? They don't tag along to like the Baz, like us, right? Like we tag along like a Rug Radio to like, okay, our house Basel, our house this. Like it takes a lot, right, to do your own production. So big shout out to that team. The whole team for putting this together. It was incredible. Look, I don't know how many people showed up. I guess their token proof can tell you, but it was north of 1,000, I feel. Good crowd. A lot of OG apes. Got to give them some kudos, man. A lot of these people wrote it, right? Up, down, and states. Like when it comes to like the whole cult thing, like I spoke to so many people there, dude, that were like the type of people that just held it like 500,000, held it through the lows, and that felt good for them, right? Like I feel like that was a huge like a relief, right? As an OG holder, like, damn, like, okay, like there's a good future here for the Bored Ape Yacht Club and for Yuga Labs in general. Thought it was great. It was a very Apple-esque presentation. So like, Illa came up, Illa cooked, right? On the MCing. And then like it went dark. And then you have Figgy comes up. Like literally it was like an Apple presentation inside this old like Portuguese building, which was really cool.
Nice.
I think from like the 1500s or something. And yeah, and then news dropped. And like, I don't know why I didn't just go long ape. Like the news dropped in
You're busy. You're in the midst of it. Yeah, that was the trade.
Fuck. I texted the boys. I'm like, guys, pay attention if shitcoins launch. This thing just went live. I should have just longed the thing because it went up 30%. Anyways.
It's funny though, it's like back on the cult thing just real quick. So like Murad's NFT cult list, right?
Yeah.
Notably left Bored Apes off. But like I think this proved it. Like how many other projects can get 1,000 people to go to Portugal? For their fourth annual party, I think this was. Like these guys are a cult. Like, come on. Like they wrote their NFTs up to $500,000 each.
Yeah.
They're still holding them. So like you can't dismiss the Bored Apes, and yeah, they're pumped. Led to the whole ecosystem pumping. So we got to root for it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think a win for the Yuga and the Apes is a win in general for that ecosystem. So it's good. I love to see it. The production was incredible. Everything was good. The food was great. Drinks were good. Though I didn't have any drinks actually. 21 days, let's go. but I saw a lot of people having fun. Yeah, it was cool. Also, a lot of people flew down with their families. It's Lisbon, so like it was just a good vibe, dude. It was just a good vibe. It was good to meet some old friends, and I think that they did incredibly well. There was a lot of side events. There was just a lot going on all day long. You can probably hear it from my voice. Got a little sick there.
So real quick, before we get off, I think, so I saw an interesting stat from Ape Express that only 2.2% of the ApeCoin has bridged over to Ape Chain. So like my head immediately goes, like you have to assume that they're going to have more and more incentives to get ApeCoin into Ape Chain. Right. So there's going to be more money in the ecosystem. I think that's going to be a key step to watch. A lot of the core holders were out partying in Lisbon all weekends. So they may not even be back at their desk.
Or they're sick.
So I think this is going to be an interesting week to watch it. And I think, from like a trading perspective, like I'm expecting a liquidity influx. And I think there's a good chance that some of the ecosystem assets go higher.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, that's the tweet, right, that you brought out. So there's a lot of stuff left to be bridged. I'm curious what happens. I mean, still got my ape, so I wonder at some point if I'm going to be able to get rewards for having an ape, this and that. So I think there's going to be an edge here with it, and I'm curious to see. Look, I'm bullish on teams that keep going. I don't really care what people think or say about Bored Apes and stuff. Like I just think that it's cool that they're doing their thing, and that's it. And they're building, right? Many people left, many people are no longer there, so. For me, it's not Pudgy or Apes or this. That's Pudgy and Apes and Azuki and Doodles and this and that. So very positive news. Very good event. Super happy. Big thank you to Spicy and the entire team for accommodating every one of us. So it was a lot of fun. Had a blast. And I also got that BMW jacket, which is fire.
Oh, nice.
Dude, their BMW activation was really cool, by the way. I didn't get to participate too much, but I saw everything. It was like, you're driving a car, was like a thing on, and it was like a Bored Ape Yacht Club branded like race track, right? It was super freaking sick. There's a lot of great founders, great builders that were also there for the friends and family dinner the night before, like the Camelot founder and just a bunch of cool people from the Michelin team to the BMW team to this and that. So lots of good stuff on that front. But anyways, Tyler, what else do we got?
Yeah, I guess a few other headlines. One to watch, perhaps like more on the negative side, or a couple. So we had the SEC come out and signal their aggressive stance against crypto isn't slowing down. So in their updated complaint against Binance, they're elaborating that selling Solana and other tokens like Cardano, like Polygon, constitute illegal securities offerings. So they're still coming after these alts as securities. So I think that is going to be a storyline to watch. Another one, this one out of the Minnesota Fed that Matthew Siegel shared this morning, I sent over to you. What kind of came out of left field, I wasn't expecting it, but another one to watch. I'm not putting too much stock behind it. He also said that Van Eck, where he works, they haven't changed any of their price targets or whatnot. But apparently the Minnesota Fed there, like they published this long research paper, basically how the United States can continue to run a permanent deficit. But for the United States to run a permanent deficit, it requires that Bitcoin is out of the picture.
You know
They literally said that.
You know what's funny is like the United States kind of like docks themselves and like no, like, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of like they kind of outed themselves, like this part, right? Government stock is like Bitcoin, a claim to nothing. That's them saying that. While the government may be paying a dividend, it does so by distributing a primary surplus, but simply by printing more claims to nothing.
It's like, yeah, we're not even dancing around this or hiding it at any point. We're just going to come out and say this. And like that, there's real implications. Like more folks start drinking this Kool-Aid, right? Like they're talking about taxes, restrictions. So it is a serious issue. But again, it's not one that the Van Eck is putting a lot of weight behind. I don't think it's something to be too concerned about just yet. But man, a wild headline there. Yeah,
it seems like he's kind of making fun of it. Like they're not really supposed to say quiet part out loud, guys. It's like full on admitting, like, all right, we know, okay, that's it. You know, like we just want to ban Bitcoin because it's fucking up with our vibes. Yeah, thank you. Took him like what, 11 years? What is it? 11 years out to be able to admit that. So I thought that was a hilarious headline.
We have that on one hand, and then the other hand who's talking about Bitcoin strategic reserve and the United States buying. So there's a lot of different scenarios at play here. In more positive news, so we saw the bridge news. This one kind of came out. I think a lot of folks in the crypto trenches actually hadn't even heard of bridge, myself included. But Stripe acquired Bridge for $1.1 billion. That's the headline. Bridge is co-founded by two Coinbase alumni, Zach Abrams and Sean Yu. They effectively built an API that helps companies accept stablecoins. So that makes sense for Stripe, right? That's what Stripe is trying to do, is help businesses accept crypto, accept stablecoins, and do the auto conversion behind the scenes. Apparently Bridge has had some success. So they had already raised $58 million at a $200 million valuation. But here, man, they 5.5x that.
Good for them.
At 1.1.
2.5 years old, dude. Yeah. 2.5 from zero to $1.1 billion. It was this was made possible by Michael Arrington, actually. That would be a great guest on the show. Oh, he follows me. Oh shit. Let's get him on the show. Yeah. He broke the news here yesterday, I believe.
He did.
Regarding Bridge. He must have been
source. Well, so a lot of these are saying it is reportedly. I don't know that we have any more confirmation beyond what Michael has said.
Because the article says they're in talks, but Michael confirmed.
Right.
Was this the biggest M&A event in crypto?
It is. Yes.
Fuck, man. Let's go.
It's a groundbreaking acquisition.
What do you think? I mean, I tweeted that yesterday right away on the back of that. I tweeted something along the lines of that we'll see a lot of it. I said we're going to see some big M&A in the industry in 2025. The Stripe deal is huge and sends a great signal out there. Big players are going to want in, but won't have the competitive advantage to build from scratch. No matter how much money they have, you can't buy time. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to 2025 is set up to be a huge year for the crypto industry. We've seen a lot of, from what I understand, a lot of money. A lot of players have still kind of been on the sidelines waiting for more regulatory clarity, perhaps an administration change, if that does indeed happen and we start to see the signs that the campaign promises were true, I think it's going to open the floodgates. And then all of that coupled with, if we do see the run in Bitcoin up to 100K, we see a lot more retail interest, right? It's perhaps a perfect storm. So yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I absolutely love to see that. And I mean, look, like last but not least, I mean, let's talk about this ACK sale. A little bit of art. I mean, you've got some art. You have Rip Cash selling 64 editions. You have ACK. So the entire collection that it seems like Hivemind picked it up. Man, I'm such a big fan of his. He's so talented.
I love ACK. He's one of my personal favorite artists out there.
I agree. Me too.
And he does a great job of like timing out his output, right? And not just like, okay, I've got some bills coming due. I want to put a new like extension on the house. Let's drop an open edition or something, right? He's much more thoughtful about what he releases. And I think what separates him right now is how he does the physical prints.
They're beautiful.
Focus for him right now. I actually think he's more focused on the physicals, and then the NFT is just kind of is there with it. But it's hard to take away from the success here in this market where really beyond Xcopy, we haven't seen a whole lot of success. He sold 5 pieces, 106 ETH on average of 21 and a half ETH per piece. What is now, what we all need to start watching will be the sale of the edition. So there's a X of 30 edition that would be selling. I mean, I forget the date. It's not today. I want to say perhaps it's the 24th. So that will be the next one to watch, kind of coming out of this. But yeah, shout out to Hivemind. It looks like there were some fireworks at the end of these auctions.
Yeah, and they've got all of them. So love to see it. He's such a deserving artist too. Like he works so hard and his stuff is so cool. So he waited a while, right? Before I don't think ACK dropped anything in the long. Was it Piano Keys his last series?
I think that was the last one.
What are they sitting at right now? I love those, man. He came on the show to talk about them.
What was
what were they called? What's the exact name?
On this now.
ACK. Fuck. Someone in the comments quickly want to tell me he's got the ACK editions. He's got. I hate that I don't remember the fucking name, dude.
I know. I'm not gonna remember it either. But I think Obi got one.
Yeah.
They're all the custom piano pieces. It's a beautiful collection.
I know it's
Broken
called
Keys.
Broken Keys. That's
Broken Key. Thank you. The Broken Keys. There you go. Oh, that was such a nice collection.
All right, so 15. I think that's kind of like no one's selling these, man.
This one's going. This one's gone. These are going to stay high this cycle. This is like his. I hate to compare artists, but that's like his calls, right? In my opinion. That was my favorite piece. Motherfucking G-Funk got that one at the time.
Oh, I was bidding in these auctions, and then they all.
Yeah, we were too.
Nuts.
We all were. We were all. He came on the show early on. It was like me, Ovi.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
We talked about this, his art and everything. He's man, he's so talented. Love to see that. And then there was a Rip Cash. You said.
Correct. So Rip Cash, I think folks will know him for like his camera theme. Right?
Cool.
That's one of his major. So he released another edition from this remote control broader collection. It's called Birds. There were 64 items.
Love it.
It's sold at half an ETH. So, signs of life again. And last week was a big week for art as well. Art Blocks curated the bokeh, those lamps that had like the digital component, which is their new direction. Those the 101s launched, and actually the broader collection goes live this afternoon. So that's going to be one to watch for those who are in the generative art space as well. So things heating up a little bit.
I love that. Actually, speaking of which, I was having dinner with Raul and Snowfall last week in Paris. Forgot. It was a lot of fun, and man, Raul really cooked, dude. This cycle so far, he's in the Banana Zone. He was wearing a Banana Zone sweater everywhere he went. Love to see that.
He bought the Banana Zone 6 months ago, so I mean, eventually he's going to be right.
He bought the bottom of Xcopy.
Yes, he did.
That generational bottom, by the way. I do not think you'll ever see those prices in the history of Xcopy again. when it comes to art, because that was like a big bear market. So yeah, we'll get another bear, but like when it comes to these prices, I don't think you'd go that low in terms of Xcopy because they've gotten to strong hands right now. So so I spoke to him a lot about that, and Snowfro too, man. Snowfro's getting some really cool stuff. So at Ledger, so Snowfro's going all in on the physical stuff. Obviously that's an NFT and stuff, but with the NFT a little more abstracted. Actually, sorry, a little more completely abstract. I mean, they don't use the term NFT anymore at all. Is that no zero. So when you got into the Ledger event, which by the way, I have to give Ledger a mega shout out to, not just ApeChain. That event, 9-story building, Tyler, in the middle of Paris, insane offices, like absurd offices. I think I have a flex somewhere there. I got the new Ledger flex, super cool. The stack's coming. But anyways, it was incredible, and they had an install as soon as you got in from art blocks. So basically he's getting fully into like printing your art onto hats, onto things, and like embroidered, not just print, like proper embroidering. But what's interesting is it's not like, I don't want to say he doesn't believe in, but it's like he's going the way of like, don't get it right away. You get a card. So it's like a regular card. I don't know, like let's say it's like a card this big, and that's the Ape Fest thing, whatever. It's like a card, really cool card with the art and a tag in there. And then you go home, you get to claim it and get it. So you don't leave. It's like with it. So it's a thought process of like getting the art, getting the card physical, and then the stuff comes second. But anyways, you guys will see.
It slows the whole process down, right? Which is important from like this whole, like, let's just flip this the second we buy it. Like they probably recognize that as an issue.
He said he needed a little more time to figure some stuff out and put it into like a thought and write properly. Then he'll come on the show and we'll chat. And then we're probably going to do some stuff with Snowfro. So awesome. Really, really love that. They're cooking. The space is alive and well. Tyler, that was a great show. You'll love to see that. Everybody, don't get shaken out, fam. Don't get shaken out. Not here. We didn't come this far to come this far. And with that, we'll see you tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the episode of FOMO Hour on Rug Radio. Let's go.